Perfect. True Blue Connects. So we keep talking about this, and many of this might be just a refresher, which is amazing if it is. This might be something brand new to you all because many of you are brand new officers, and that is okay. That's what we're going to be talking about. Very basic details today, but we're going to go in greater details on Wednesday. So get involved. True Blue Connects is a one-stop shop for managing your club and marketing your club, to be honest. It could be found in NEU.edu/clubs, right? That's as easy as it gets. NEU.edu/clubs. Um, this is where every single individual within the university, outside of the university, parents, faculty, staff, potential students are going to be able to actually see what club is technically active here at NAU. And trust us, we got in a lot of emails or calls during the summer asking, do you all have a nursing club? Do you all have a rugby club? And so on and so forth. And trust us, we've been replying, yes, we do. Here's the information. Go to any YouTube Blue Connects. So whatever flyers you create, whatever information you want to share with your potential members, if you sign up for Club Fair, you're welcome to just put any of the useless clubs and type in Lady Sharks or the any you and True Blue Connects also provides you with a particular and individual link to your own profile, which we'll talk about later on how to find that. That you could also copy and paste into your flyers or marketing websites or whatever it is. That link just goes directly to your profile instead of having potential individuals or parents or whoever wants to see your profile just goes straight forward to the actual info page. So today we're gonna be just technically talking about the info page, the roster, and other miscellaneous things that you could do with True Blue Connects, and I hope it gives you a little bit of a rundown on how to manage it. Again, more in detail on Wednesday, but basics today, more detail Wednesday. And I'm gonna hit next for Meredith.
Alrighty, so that first page is just briefly what we're going to go over. So some parts of True Blue Connects we're going to go over today. If you have more event questions, event request form questions, those types of things, we're going to go in a lot of detail on Wednesday. Okay, so in True Blue Connects, what is the info page? So thank goodness everyone here is a registered organization. So you all have a web page in True Blue, and anyone with officer access should be able to update the info page. On the info page, you'll have your club name, your description, your profile picture if you have one, contact info, address, email, phone, external websites, social media, meeting date, time, and location, advisor and coach contact information. So some of these things are optional, some of these things are required. So for example, you need to have a name. We do have a new marketing policy that we want to make sure that y'all are aware of. At this point in time, if you started off your name with either NAU or Northern Arizona University, we did go ahead and move that to the end of your name. So let's say you used to be NAU hiking, you are now hiking at NAU. You'll see that change in True Blue. We tried to make it a little bit easier for y'all by doing it for you in a lot of cases, but if you're one of these few clubs that slip through the cracks, you do want to make sure that that info page is updated. Not just your name, but if you have a nickname as well, we want to make sure that that's updated as well. And we do want this to happen as well, but it's not as urgent. Like, go ahead and take your time on this. But if in your constitution it says NAU hiking or Northern Arizona University hiking throughout your constitution, sometime in the next year, we want to encourage you to go ahead and update that as well. I know it's a huge change, but it is a new marketing policy. It's kind of a little bit out of our hands. We want to make sure that everyone knows that this is a policy going on. Okay. So this is where you can change your name. Even if you didn't have NAU in your title and you just want to change your name for fun, you can do that without necessarily asking us to do it for you. We do recommend that you email student orgs just so our internal records can update your new name. So if you suddenly email us and you're like, haha, I'm this org, and we're like, who are you? We try to keep a good track of our organization. So if you do change your name or something drastic like that, you should just give us an update email of, hey, by the way, this is what's happened. So we know who we're talking to, and we're keeping good tabs on all the orgs. If you end up putting contact information on your about page, this is great, fine, dandy, but do be careful if you're putting a private address. Okay. So you're allowed to put a private address if you want, but do keep in mind that this information page is accessible to everyone who can get into True Blue. So all of the NAU community can see your address. So if you're putting in your apartment number, personally, I don't recommend it, but you do you. Your advisor and your coach have to be fully updated on your info page. So if you currently have a part-time advisor and you're changing it to a full-time advisor, if your full-time advisor drops out, you need to find a new advisor. If you decide to drop your current advisor and you need to find a new one, this page you want to keep updated. It's right up there with primary contacts, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But while we message through Microsoft Teams, we also send all of our important emails to primary contacts and advisors listed in TrueBlue. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's updated so you don't miss any important emails from us. Importantly, meeting day, time, and location. Those you have to put in yourself, right? So you'll want to make sure that that's updated with which room you actually get. So this, to be very clear, it is not an event request form. It does not approve the rooms that you put in on this form. But if you do get a room approved, then you can go ahead and to put it on here. So for people who look up your org, they'll be able to find it. This is also what you'll want to keep the most updated, because especially new students that are going to be coming in the fall, we go, you want to join a club? Go to TrueBlue, click on their profiles, and try to figure out when their meetings are, what they do. So if you keep this updated, this is going to be a really important advertising tool for y'all. Okay, I saw a whole bunch of questions in the chat, so let me see. Correct, yes. If you had, like NAU club name, it is now club name at NAU or club name at Northern Arizona University. If you don't like what we've changed, please go ahead and fix it. But it just can't start with NAU or Northern Arizona University anymore. And Northern Arizona is fine, as long as it doesn't have the university. You'll know if your room preferences get accepted through the event request form. And any questions about that, you can go ahead and ask through that comment section. But again, for events, we're going to make sure we're covering that more in detail on Wednesday. Okay, I believe I've covered everything on this slide, Salvador.
I think this is me. Okay. All right. I just wanted to let you all know too that if you're changing your name, your club or organization, with a very drastic change. So like maybe not the coffee club, but now you're like the roasted bean or whatever. That's a whole different name, and we need to make sure that we are able to identify you not just in TrueBlue Connects, but in our individual roster that doesn't talk directly with NAU TrueBlue Connects. So please, please, please email us if your name drastically changed and not just you change the NAU to @NAU, like you completely change the name. Please let us know that. Okay, TrueBlue Connects roster. Oh, this is amazing. So the roster, this is something that we need to keep in mind of for you all to please, 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 we're gonna start singing the song, to continue to update as much as possible. This is something that we need to make sure that you continue because it tells us exactly who is actually in your specific organization, who is either an officer, who is either your primary contact, and this is how we're communicating or retrieving our emails to communicate directly to the officers or the presidents when it comes to trainings, right? This was technically what we do during the summer, so that way you're not super embedded into Microsoft Teams as you're new, but knowing that moving forward, Microsoft Teams is our primary method of communication. So with that being said, when you completed SOAR back in April, when you all completed SOAR back in April, you were able to actually add everybody who you believe was a member and any new officer and assign their titles, right? That's great. If that has changed since April or May or June. So whenever you actually complete your store, please go back and edit this, and we'll show you how to do so as well. But technically, when you click on the roster option, you will be able to actually see multiple options, such as manage positions for individuals. If you want to provide different access to officers, so maybe you're the president, and manually the actual software tells every single club that the president has all the access to TrueBlue Connects to the profile of the club. But maybe the treasurer has different access limitations. So if you want to change that, that's where you change it. You want to invite people, technically it's literally on the top right corner. You want to invite people, and if you want to export your roster and provide it, maybe your national organization wants this information, or maybe your faculty advisor would love to see who's actually involved and send an individual meaningful message for being involved in their club. Who knows? This is something that's really helpful. When you invite people, you'll be able to see 3 different subsections, right? You're gonna see the current individuals who, when they were invited, they got an email saying you were invited to the coffee club. You want to accept, and they click yes, right? So you'll be able to see them in the current section. The pending section is going to be the section when obviously people are still haven't either opened up their actual email or haven't clicked on the yes, I accept this involvement opportunity in this club. And prospective students or individuals who actually looked at your profile, maybe in the summer, anytime in the academic year, and click on I want to join, and you'll be able to either approve or deny them. Primary contact, you have assigned some individual to be the primary contact of the club. You can always change it if you need to. Usually is a president, usually is a secretary. That's technically what the club's responsibility is, to pick whoever is fully going to be the primary contact in TrueBlue Connects. But do know that we're communicating with the officers who are representatives of the club through Microsoft Teams. So that's basically something that we wanted to keep you in mind. Now I'm going to pass it on to Meredith. Oopsies.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am back. So I have some screenshots here, and I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. But again, we're going to have a training posted on nau.edu/club resources, and you can always email about this, and you can also schedule a consultation. These are just some basic things of some ways that many orgs like to update their roster. Okay. First off, how do you add members? So if you go back to that original page Salvador was on, you're going to click the invite people button. Is it possible to go back, Salvador? Perfect. Yep. You're going to click that invite people button. When you click that invite people button, and now you can go, thank you. You'll see a page that has a box that lets you list as many email addresses as you want. You can either separate them by a comma or by an enter, and you can just list everybody. One thing to note though, you can only invite people in a batch if they have the same title. So if you're going to invite a specific officer and you want to add them as an officer instead of changing them manually, you can put their email in, and then you're going to click the drop down next to invite as, and you're going to click whichever position title they are. This is really helpful as a tool when you're inviting a whole bunch of members that you got at a club fair or something. You can just make sure all of their email addresses are correct, paste them in from an Excel sheet, make sure it's invite as member, send invitations. Those emails that Salvador mentioned are all going to go out. Also, it'll take you back to that original page, and you'll get a little notification at the top, and it'll also tell you how many successfully went through, how many didn't, that type of thing. And so you can try to troubleshoot if you have any bad emails or any typos or anything like that. Next, if you want to edit members. So you sometimes want to edit your primary contact because, again, we email primary contacts. Most people have it as their president, but you can have it as anyone in your roster, a member, a different officer, a president. You also may want to remove members. So if they've graduated, we do want to keep our rosters updated and make sure all graduates are off of their TrueBlue roster. If you want to keep a list of alumni of your organization, we highly recommend you keep it separate, because we want to use this TrueBlue Connects as a good resource of how many people at NAU are currently in a club, that type of data. And so anyone that's graduated, we really want you to take off of this list. And then let's say you have someone who's a member and they become an officer, or you have someone who's a vice president and they become a president. Those are 3 different ways you might edit members. So again, on that first page of the roster, you're going to see on that current tab, you're going to see everybody listed in your roster. If you want to delete someone and remove them from your roster, you'll go ahead and click that checkbox to the left of their name, and you'll go up to the top and you'll click End Membership. Do not click End All Memberships. That is the wrong button. In Membership, and then you'll go ahead and click Yes, I confirm, what have you. If you're going to change the primary contact, there's a little pencil icon specifically under the primary contact. Yep. You'll click that. Anybody who is currently listed on your roster, you can go ahead and click that button and make them your primary contact. Importantly, if they're currently your primary contact, but they've just graduated, you have to remove them as a primary contact before you can delete them. That's just a weird quirk of the system. We didn't do that. Next, if you want to edit their position, to be an officer, to no longer be an officer, you're going to look at that entire row with their name. And instead of on the left-hand side with the checkbox, you're going to go to the right and click the pencil. When you click that, all officer titles are going to be listed in this manage positions pop-up, and you'll be able to uncheck whichever they are no longer, not that one in the middle, Salvador. You'll be able to check whichever one they are no longer and check which one they are, and you can save that, and that should change their officer title. Now, let's say when you open that manage positions menu, you're like, we have a chair and it's not listed there. You would instead click the manage positions icon to the left of invite people. Thank you, Salvador. And when you click that, you'll see the page on the right now. And it does also say manage positions. And those are all of the officers that you have listed. That's also where you can go in and make sure they have the proper access. So if you have an officer and they're like, I can't submit an event request form, you would click their blue title in this menu, and then you can make sure they have the proper accesses in TrueBlue. You can also create new ones, everything like that. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, there's another training. We're always here to help. Okay, I've got a question in the chat. If club members on the roster graduate, are they automatically removed? They are not automatically removed. And that's why we ask y'all to keep it updated and remove people who graduated. How do you figure out if the members have graduated? Typically what we recommend is when you're trying to keep it updated, you might even send like a Qualtrics or a form out to people and you're like, hey, are you still interested in being an active member? And then you can remove anyone who doesn't indicate that they want to be an active member in the coming semester, for example. But you can do that a plethora of ways. I believe that's all the questions in the chat. And so I think we're moving on.
The other aspects of TrueBlue Connects is that you're more than welcome to, not a requirement, but another marketing opportunities for you to create news/announcements that will be posted in the main page of TrueBlue Connects and also being housed in your specific profile section. So if you raised $25,000 by volunteering in a community or an event, that's something amazing. We want to know that, which we'll share with you all ways on how to communicate that information with us, so we can also advertise it in our office. But you can also advertise it yourself in TrueBlue Connects through the news. You could provide and upload photos about different events, so things that you have done as a group. You could save your documents or upload documents that are vital for your actual organization. This is also where your actual constitution is located in. So if for some reason, when you do your SOAR or need it, well, when you need your constitution and you don't have access to it for some reason, you're more than welcome to click on documents and download the most recent constitution that you have there. Or if you're a new officer and your previous officer/president didn't give you the constitution, well, it's in the documents, so you could download that from there too. You create forms for any specific club needs. You could create elections as well. If you like to either have members from the club vote on who will be the next president and so on, or you could have it open up for every single student. So it's up to you. And then you could track your service hours, which could be in TrueBlue Connects, but we also are bringing somebody very special on Wednesday to talk about other opportunities on how to either track your service hours, but also how to volunteer. So more to come on that on Wednesday. So that is basically it on TrueBlue Connects. Way more information is gonna be provided on Wednesday on events, but